Hi everyone. कल एक बच्चे ने मेरे से एक बहुत ही important सवाल पूछा. Kid asked me a very important question yesterday. Why do all yoga studios have statue of Buddha? Who was he and why do all yoga studios have his statue? Was he the biggest teacher of yoga? That question is a very interesting question, and let me try to put my thoughts to it. Buddha थे कौन? और बुद्धत्व क्या होता है? What is a Buddha? So Buddha is anyone who is an enlightened being is a Buddha. So Gautam became Buddha after his enlightenment. The 16 years that he spent in the forest in search of the truth was his seeking, was his yoga, and the end state of that was when he got enlightened. So Buddha and yoga is the end goal is the same. That's why it's the biggest inspiration for all yogis. And Buddha had one of the biggest impact before Patanjali in this space. And he attacked the human condition at a very fundamental level. And जो उनके four noble truths हैं, the four noble truths that he gave when he started teaching were very important. Let's try to understand what those four noble truths were. पहला उनका जो truth था, the noble truth was the truth of suffering. He said the human condition is of dukkha, suffering. That was the first noble truth. Very pessimistic sounding truth, but that's what he said. And the second noble truth was the cause of suffering. So he said that the cause of suffering is our clinging to certain objects, our attachment to certain objects, or our aversion to avoid certain objects. We feel that the source of our happiness lies in some external object, then it becomes attachment. And when we feel that the cause of our unhappiness lies in the external object, it becomes aversion. So this is the second truth which Buddha spoke about. And the third truth was the truth of cessation of suffering. He said it's possible to get rid of the suffering. And the final fourth truth was the path to remove suffering. So these were the four noble truths which Buddha gave when he started teaching. And a lot of his initial teaching was focused on the path of moderation, which is also referred as the middle path. There was a particular view before that one has to renounce everything. आप सब कुछ छोड़ दो, खाने में रस मत लो, पैसे में रस मत लो, अपने sense organs, you completely ignore your sense organs. This is one extreme. And the other extreme is complete indulgence, which means you're indulging completely in your senses. You're completely indulging in whatever wealth or money can buy, the material world. So Buddha said that these are two extremes. But if one can lead a life in middle, it is the secret key to happiness. So that was one of his key teaching. And there have been various doctrines after that, the Eightfold Path that's documented in some of the Buddhist texts, which talks of the right intention, the right view, the right action. So those are basically derivatives of the middle path which Buddha spoke about. And this is not much different than the path of yoga that the Gyan Yoga or a yogi actually lives through. And that's where I think both of them converge. So there is a eightfold path of Patanjali, and there is a eightfold path given by Gautam Buddha. And I think there is a lot of similarity between these two, though they both maybe came at different times, spoken to different audiences, taught in a different environment with a different context. But I think the essence of both these teaching is the same, which is complete freedom from suffering. And the complete freedom of suffering only happens when we align completely with life. This was what Buddha realized 16 years down in the forest. He tried everything. He tried fasting, he went to various gurus, he tried long meditations. He basically tried whatever he could, and he could not find the supreme truth. But one fine day, when he was sitting by the river and the water was flowing through the river, and there was a piece of wood which was floating with the water in the river, that gave him the Eureka moment. That was the moment he realized what flowing with life is about. Okay. That was the moment Buddha was enlightened. Or rather, I would say Gautama got enlightened and became Buddha. And that's the ultimate goal of yoga, also to align one individual life with the universal consciousness. What we exist individually, to align that completely with life is the ultimate objective of yoga. So that's where I think both of them converge. Do let me know what you think of this in the comment section below. Thanks a lot.